Okay, so when you hear manufacturing in Bangladesh, what's the first thing that pops into your head? For most people, it's one thing, clothes. But you know what? That's just chapter one. Today, we're going beyond the tag to give you a strategic guide to the country's entire industrial engine. Let's dive in.
All right, get this 80%. That's the number that pretty much defines how the world sees Bangladesh's industry. A whopping 80% of the country's total exports. It all comes from one single industry ready made garments. It's an incredible success story that has absolutely put the country on the global map.
And yeah, this is the story we all know, right? It's built on just incredible scale, fierce competitiveness, and a workforce of around 4 million people. This concentration is a clear sign of deep, proven capability in running massive export operations at a truly global scale.
But, it also makes you wonder, what's next? If you're an investor looking ahead, you have to ask, where's the next story? Beyond apparel, where are the fresh opportunities for growth, for diversification, and for a high-value investment? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dig into.
Okay, so to find that answer, we've got to zoom out a bit. We need to see the bigger picture. Because manufacturing here isn't just one industry. It's the foundational engine that's driving the entire national economy. And if you need proof, here's the number. Almost 22%. That's how much of the entire nation's GDP comes from manufacturing. We're talking about a massive, established foundation here, one that's big enough to support all kinds of complex supplier networks and entire industrial ecosystems, with plenty of room still left to grow. So, okay, this whole ecosystem is huge, and let's be honest, kind of complex. How do you even begin to wrap your head around it? Well, the best way I found is to break it down into three simple, distinct layers. This framework makes everything so much clearer, not just where things are, but where they're headed. So let's walk through them. First up, layer one. This is that mature export engine we've been talking about, right? The world-class apparel industry. Easy enough. Then you've got layer two. These are the fast-growing industries right next door. Think pharma, plastics, and food processing. They're serving the booming local market, but are also starting to export more and more. And then, layer three. This is where it gets really exciting. This is the next wave. We're talking high-potential stuff like light engineering, automotive parts, and electronics. Basically, all the high-precision components that make our modern world tick.
All right, so understanding the layout is great, but let's get to the real question. Where do you actually invest your money? Let's talk about how this framework translates into real, high-potential opportunities that go way beyond just making shirts.
Okay, take a look at this. What I love here is just how wide the range of opportunities is. It's not just one thing. In pharma, the big play is about transferring in technology to meet tough global standards. For footwear, it's a no-brainer. You're jumping on that global trend of diversifying supply chains. Agro-processing, huge export potential, especially if you can nail down traceability. And light engineering, this one's cool. We call it a capability sector. Why? Because it builds the tools and parts that make the entire economy more productive. It's a truly strategic move. So here's the bottom line. You can boil it all down to 5 really powerful investment themes. First, capture that China plus one shift. Everyone's looking for sourcing alternatives. Second, build out the component ecosystems that can supply not just one, but multiple industries. Third, win with green manufacturing. I mean, sustainability is non-negotiable these days. Fourth, leverage the ready-made economic zones the country has set up. And finally, number 5, upgrade your operations before Bangladesh's LDC graduation. That's a huge deal. It's when the trade rules change, and the most compliant, high-tech factories will have a massive leg up. Okay, let's be real for a second. No investment guide is worth anything without a serious reality check. The opportunity here is absolutely legit, but if you want to succeed, you have to go in with your eyes wide open and plan for the real-world, on-the-ground challenges. And this quote just nails it. The opportunity is real, absolutely. But getting it done, the execution, that requires you to be smart and to plan for the risks. They aren't deal breakers. They're just things you have to plan for. So let's get super practical here. Is the infrastructure a bit uneven? Yep, it can be. So what's your strategy? Site-specific due diligence. That means you're not just looking at a map, you are physically checking the power supply and driving the routes from your factory to the port. What about foreign exchange constraints? They're real. So your plan has to include phased capital spending and a smart way to manage currency risk. Worried you can't find enough mid-level managers? The smart companies are investing heavily in their own in-house training programs to build the talent they need from the ground up.
You see? For every challenge, there's a strategic answer. And just to make that point about Forex crystal clear, look at this number. Net foreign direct investment for fiscal year 24 was about $1.47 billion. Now, that figure shows you just how much global volatility can have an impact. And it's exactly why that careful planning for currency we just talked about is so important for timing your investment rate.
All right. So we've looked at the big picture, we've pinpointed the opportunities, and we've faced the challenges head on. Now let's pull it all together. Let's define what a winning strategy for Bangladesh manufacturing looks like right now.
This is it. This is the key. A winning strategy today is not just about cheap labor anymore. That's the old model. It's about building a specific, powerful value proposition. Are you going to be the fastest? The absolute best on quality? The undisputed leader in compliance? That's what a winning plan is built on now. It's about designing excellence into your business from day one.
So if you take away just one thing from all this, let it be this quote. The most attractive, most profitable opportunities are sitting right at the intersection of two things: diversification into new industries and upgrading your tech, your quality, and your productivity. That's the sweet spot. That's where the real value is hiding.
So look, it's clear that Bangladesh's next industrial chapter is being written as we speak. And it's a story that goes way beyond that garment tag. It's a story of new sectors, higher value, and smarter business. So the only real question left is, how are you going to be a part of it?